Okay, so I will present you the Atlas Atlantic Octopus single phase platform update. This is the standard product that we had in the past. So, for example, the Octopus 1.4 JJ that have been updated, in fact, in 5 generations, so Turing generation. So that exactly the same product, but it's available in build to order. So that's important to precise. It's a build to order product, so 4 GPU platform with 1 CPU, but in Turing. Okay, so this one, that means that we can goes up to 6,000 for the DDR5 because we were limited to 4800 before. So that's practically the only difference. The same for the Octopus 1.8. So this is the 2OU version. So the 2OU version of this system is limited to 350 watts per GPU. So that was the oldest version. So we have a new version that can handle 600, but that will be, and I will present it to you in 3OU. So the same, in fact, it's just an update from the last motherboard that we used that were in only 4th generation Genoa, and now you can use Turing with the highest memory speed. Same update for the 1GG. So this one is just a dual CPU platform. Very dense for CPU, that is updated in what we call SP5D. So SP5, this is the socket for Turing, and D dual. Also, in preliminary, we have some product that comes into immersion. It's Octopus 2. Octopus 2 before was only DLC. So the R&D is working on an immersion version that should come in Q1 2026. So it's not ready yet, but that's very interesting because for the moment in Octopus we didn't have any, I would say, CPU platform, and so that allows us to have a very dense platform in CPU beginning of next year. Of course, it will also exist in DLC ORV3. Just to let you know, all the product that we already have in DLC for Octopus, it's OR2 series I. They are not in catalog, so that means if a customer is interested, so typically that's what we sold to Munster. It's still available. It's automatically a demand for the R&D. Okay, so it's not necessarily a demand to do to me, but look, in that case, if it's ORV3, you come to me. That's the difference. So that's why that's why it was your question yesterday. If we can still continue to say to Munster, yes, we can provide you. Yes, it's not an abandoned project. It's just that we just want to put the focus into the ORV3. For the DLC platform, also, Loic and his team is working on a new rack. So the rack will not be done by us. It's not like auto rack when we finally make the metal sheet, etc. It's just a selection of different partners, so like Rital, Schneider, etc. For the base rack and the manifold, etc. The PDU. So we are able to provide an ORV3 rack compatible with our product, and also some other partner products. Because also for DLC, very important, and it's always at the rack level solution. Telling to someone, yes, you can buy one Octopus 2 has no sense. For 2 reasons. It's not necessarily compatible with the rack that people have. It's not because someone have a DLC rack that is compatible with everything. No. So first, that's the first type. So we need to be sure that it's compatible. So that's why we prefer they buy the rack from us. At minimum, if they want to buy their own, we need to verify with the R&D that everything will fit. Okay. Also, in DLC, it's very important to have the same server in the whole system, in the whole rack. Do not mix, for example, Octopus 2 and Octopus 1.4, for example, in the same rack, because you will have some problem with the pressure. Some of the server will have no water inside because the one at the top will take all the water, the cool water. So that could be a real problem. So that's something you should talk to your customer. So it's preferable, for example, to have a 2 half rack than a single rack, if you have 2 different kind of system they want to use. So that's very important for that. But generally for DLC, always has to, at minimum, a product manager, so me for DLC, or Loic's team, to be sure that everything fits. Is very important. So now the new platform. So the platform, this is the, I will say, the 3OU platform with 8 GPU. One of the greatest, I would say, focus on this one was to have a platform that is the same for every of the different Atlas, Atlantis, and Octopus. So that means same motherboard, same equipment. Only what is changing is the chassis. It's not really so that clearly the idea is to have a best supply chain, because we have the same motherboard for all this platform that does the same, and also the same characteristics. So the specifications are exactly the same, except the one you see in yellow. So you have the 19-inch platform, 21-inch platform, and the OCP. Okay, so that's very important to see. Also, the thing to understand, all that is below the yellow line are completely the same for the three platform. So that's a big advance that we have now, because it will simplify a lot of things. So that means also if someone say, oh, I'm interested in Octopus, and finally say, oh, I will keep in 19-inch, it's easy to swap. So that's a big advance. In this product, so this is an example, because we have different SKUs, because we have different options in terms of so you will have the list just for Tactor. I'll just give an example of one I think that will be the most sold version with 4 NVMe U.2, 2 PCIe 5.0 FHFL slot, and another one, a single wide and HHL cards at the bottom. Exactly the same in Atlantis and in Octopus. Okay. This is the one that we do now, but we are trying to get, because if you compare to MGX platform, because that typically the kind of platform we will face, in fact, in Air and DLC, we have 2 PCIe slot less. That because technologically today we are limited concerning the PCIe lane, so we are using what we call a PCIe switch to have more PCIe lane to enable us to have more PCIe slot. At this moment, we can do better, but the R&D is working to our own version of this PCIe switch to be able to have more PCIe. It will come. I guess next year, but for the moment, this is the best version we have. That this is the most closed version we have if you compare to MGX platform. So this is the same in Octopus and here in Atlantis. So you see that's very similar. Also for this ITDP, because we can handle up to 600 watt GPU, so meaning H200 NVL and RTX 6000 Pro. We need to use FCHS, so that's submer definition of the force convection heatsink. So the idea is to use turbine. So you can see there is some turbine. It's fans made for immersion cooling. And the idea is really to direct the flow directly into the heatsink, and so we have a better cooling performances.
Please say turbine in front of the customer and not fans.
Yeah, because if you say fan in front of me, I say, okay, it will break. And turbines is really done. That's a fan made for immersion, clearly. Okay, so that's a different feature. I think it's important now to say it's made in France. So it's made in France when it's in Europe. Of course, we are also working in the US, maybe to have a made in US if it's done in the US. Okay, but it's not the case at this moment. This is a design key feature that you can say to your customer, so you know how to read. That's you, but that typically the typical features you have to say to the customer, okay, is good for immersion, all the cable are compatible, etc. So that's important to say that. But It's great just to say also that it can integrate up to 8 H200 NVL. So these are the different SKU that we have selected for the moment that you can propose to your customer. So it's great for you because you just have to use this SKU in your quote, and automatically we know that this SKU, for example, this one, you have 8 storage bay, but only 1 PCIe, for example. So this one is not using a PCIe switch. Just to let you know, when we use a PCIe switch, that means more cost in the bare bone because you have the PCIe switch, and also less efficiency for what is connected in terms of to what is connected to the PCIe switch. So someone who wants the best efficiency, it's preferable to go in something that is not PLX. So PLX is the switch. So for example, this one, you have a 4 E1.S, but it's on the PLX on the CPU 0. That means, okay? But if you want a lot of storage and lots of PCIe slot, there is no, we need to use a PLX. Just to let you know, it's the same for our competitors. It's not just a limitation of us. MGX platform use a lot of PCIe switch, so that's normal, okay?
And all the storage are hot swap and hot plug?
Yeah. Yeah. The next project.
We have data on the loss of using PLX.
But yes.
You have a latency penalty of about 150 nanoseconds. That seems low, but when you have a lot of IOPS, a lot of that small data transiting,
It's percentage perhaps.
That's hard.
That's because
in fact,
to not use a PLX.
that's why I talked yesterday about a deep dive on that because there's a latency penalty, but there are also software solutions from NVIDIA to accommodate that, in fact. That's why it's not that simple. A PLX switch add latency, but sometimes the data are not transiting through a CPU, but only through a PCIe switch.
Yeah.
And in this case, you don't have this issue.
That's the case, for example, for the MGX. MGX, the PCIe slot at the switch level, they are for the GPUs. And finally, you don't go to the CPU. And that's also preferable for some workload. So sometimes it can be better. So that's why it's tricky.
That's why I propose to explain. That's why I propose a deep dive on that because with nice chants and pictures, it will be easier to explain.
And it's a plug and swap when we use the red card.
Oh, it doesn't change this. So PCIe switch doesn't change that. So it's clearly just a question of. Yes, for the storage, if you are using a PCIe switch basically is just a connector that comes and I say, okay, in place of 8 lane, you have 148, for example. So it's just that. It's just a question of latency, but hot swap, no problem.
I don't think it's the PCIe switch is the problem. I want to know if
about the hot swap available because we had experiences with several from the R&D where it was said as hot swappable and then it was not actually hot swappable. So we want to make sure it's not the same case anymore.
It has been tested and validated with Gen 4 cages from Vision 3 and Chenbro recently. We sampled the Gen 5 cages to verify we don't have any issues. The main issue we have currently is when you remove a drive, the IPMI, the BMC is aware of that on most of the servers in the market. That's the only feature we are missing for now because Vision 3 doesn't provide a connector to get this information.
Okay.
And normally through the BMC, you can have a drive temperature, for example. And that's the only thing we don't have currently. That's why we started to work also with Chenbro, but it's complicated. I think we don't have the good person in front of us to discuss that. But that's something we are working on. In the future, maybe we could design our own PCB for Vision 3 cages because this manufacture the cage but outsource the PCBs. So one of the solutions could be to purchase only the cages and have our own PCBs behind.
Okay.
And this way we would be more free because most difficult issue for us about drive cages is mechanically. It requires the tolerance for that. It's very complicated. If you have if you're missing half a millimeter, the drive doesn't fit inside. So we are not able to manufacture that. It would need investment that would not be worth it for now. We'll talk again about that if we have more volume.
But
In 5 or 10
And,
years.
so it's also available, but without using any HBR, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we can still use a red card if you want.
Yeah.
Very great.
that was a hard requirement for that. And
is there a LED? LED?
Yeah.
LED, yeah.
Yeah, there are two. The one where when the drive is present.
Yeah.
And the activity one. Yeah. Okay. This we have, and we are working currently with Solidigm and Phison. They have SSDs qualified for immersion. They provide the warranty, and it's already modified by them. So it's way easier than modifying SSDs on our side because that's why until now we were mostly proposing M.2 also. Because U.2, you have to disassemble it, remove the pads, and put something else. It's preferable when Solidigm or Phison does that for us. So the idea is to qualify these two brands for our servers.
And for one in the middle, I see that the drives are E3.S.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's also the news now. That rate we goes more and more on E3.S and E1.S. So because in immersion, E1.S is great. In general, in our design now with this kind of server, we are trying to use M.2 as less as possible because in immersion is not the best. And yes, and E1.S is great, and E3.S also is great because you can have very big capacity for some customer. So
some customers are starting to ask also for CXL.
Yeah,
will be compatible. We'll see.
So that's why we focus. So typically, I think you will have not so much demand in E3.S now, but but next year, yes, definitely.
For now, only CGG and
But it will come. But it remains some SKUs that are available. So the right thing is that these SKUs will be on Odoo directly with the right BOM. So it will be easy to, it will be very easy, in fact, to do a quote. So please read this spec. If you see something that is missing or something you think you will never, so you can do it after this call. Please let us know because it's good to know. So for the moment, it's a proposal of SKU that we are doing. And if there is a storage type, for example, here we don't do SAS SATA because we don't see a lot of demand. That doesn't mean we can do it. It's just it will not be at the catalog. So that means if someone wants SAS or SATA, we can do it. It's just I will ask to the R&D. Yes. So that's
all those SKUs. Not sure all will be in catalog. Yeah. Some will be probably off roadmap.
Yeah. So that's why we highly recommend you read it and tell us what you think about that.
Share feedbacks.
Yeah.
And will it be possible to have less GPU and more storage in front?
Yeah.
What would be the maximum number of drives you could have? And
12.
Even with no GPU at all.
It's depending.
It's mechanical.
As storage as network also, but if you look at the front, this one is the Atlantis, so it's more complicated for the Atlantis.
That's true.
But if you look at the Atlas, it's
so Atlas you can
5.25 inch slots, meaning even for the NIC. It's a kind of 5 1/4 inch cage for the NICs. That means it's modular. You can do whatever you want as long as you have the PCI lens.
So if we would have 16 in this one with only one NIC card,
and we can have in one slot we can have.
But we have another product for storage in immersion.
Yeah.
So that will be better, I guess. Okay. So. Yes, we have great products.
Yeah, because this gave us another idea, which is the product.
So, but yes, definitely. typically for this kind of stuff, if you want to have more storage, I would say in that case, Octopus would be the best because you have more place here typically. But yes, so please and yes, in 19-inch, we have some mechanical limitations. Here, so let us know. This is exactly the same architecture for the 3.1. So you have all this. So please have a look and give us some feedback because this is what is possible to do, and we would like to have your feedback on that. Because this is a project, it's still in development. So we have the first prototype already, but it's still in development. So this is you can propose it to your customer. It's just that for the moment, the lead time is high because we need to test and I would say 20 weeks. For me,
less than that, but for the motherboard, we have already 14 weeks.
Okay.
So if you had even in the best case, if you had 1 week for production and 1 week for testing, it's at minimum 16.
Exactly the same motherboard for all three, right?
Yeah. So
Atlantis,
currently that's the issue. The lead time for the motherboard, PSUs, it's 10 weeks, so it's okay. And yeah, and the other components, it's less than that. So,
just to let you know, also that's one of the target of I will say using the same motherboard. It's also the same motherboard in the Ifrit. So the Ifrit that will and the idea is also to be able to have more quantities of the same motherboard. So that means today we have a very bad lead time on that because not so much quantities. But if we have regular sale and with different product of the same motherboard, just talking about the motherboard, we should be able to fluidify a little bit more. So that's the idea. Of course.
no.
Of course not.
But
you know the policy.
that's something to discuss with Christophe as the products are being released. It's not we don't discuss this yet, but
I mean, I'm not talking 50, but like 5 or 10.
Yeah. At least for customers for POCs, it would be great.
But if you have, for example, some if you are able to say, or for Ifrit, for example, or Atlas, whatever, what kind of project. So if you have an idea, you think I should be able to sell this number this year, for example, or next year, whatever, a kind of forecast. Maybe we can ask Christophe if you come and you say, I will sell 200. Yes, I think it will be easy to have 5 in stock. So we will depend. So we can help on that. Yes.
But if we work on 3 model difference with the same
motherboard,
same motherboard, I think it's not a great investment to have a few motherboard.
$1,000 per unit.
If we don't sell this, R&D work with
that's true too.
Because if we don't sell this,
Which component is the longest lead time for this?
Motherboard.
Yeah, so that's why.
Definitely.
And this is the highest cost also.
And PLX switches, for PLX switches production.
Vas-y. Je comprenais pas ta question. Ouais.
Si en effet on utilise la même carte mère sur tous ces modèles, ça n'a pas de sens de ne pas en avoir 5.
Ah oui, je suis d'accord.
Discuter avec les messieurs qui décident.
C'est ça. C'est pas nous qui sommes bloquants là-dessus.
Oui.
Faut arrêter, quoi.
Oui, je suis d'accord. Non, mais tu as raison.
C'est exactement, pratiquement mot pour mot ce que je l'ai dit à GP, notamment récemment.
Là, il en faut 100, là, c'est sûr que c'est compliqué.
Oui, mais 5 ou 6, oui.
Mais 5 ou 10,
Pas que 10.
Il faut même voir de votre côté quel est le minimum pour rentabiliser les.
À combien 500, 600 000
1000 balles.
A big shortage of this motherboard. Do you have a request?
So there are other motherboards with the same kind of form factor because the standardization of motherboard form factor in servers, it's very new on OC from Open Compute. So before this standard have been released, we had already the design with the Astro Crack motherboard. So currently, what we could do is the MGX motherboard form factor is very close to that. So we can purchase MGX form factor motherboard, and there are plenty on the market. Okay. And probably for the next generation, we will move to these motherboards if it's confirmed.
Yeah.
Because Open Compute released a competing form factor, which is MSDNO type 3, and I don't think anybody will use it because of NVIDIA. NVIDIA is stronger than Open Compute to push a standard right now. So I think we will move to MGX, but the mechanical adaptation is not a big deal for us.
Okay.
We would like to avoid this situation.
Just in case.
But yeah, in case we can still modify, and it's the same for the T-shape motherboard we are using on some SKUs. Now there's the MFLW T-shape form factor from Open Compute. It's not a big deal to move to it also, because at the front it's slightly different, but not that much. PSUs are exactly at the same place, and then it's all to fix the motherboard were at different places. It's very easy to move for us.
And also it doesn't change the thermal model. That's very important. Okay. For this 8 GPU platform, so I don't do the difference if it's Atlantis, Atlas, or Octopus. We did two kind of configurations. So AI, because mostly for AI, people we bring it AI compute intensive server. In fact, with H200 NVL and AI versatile server, RTX Pro 6000 server edition. So this is the type of configuration we create for these servers. Also, they are present in our reference design. I will present you a little bit the reference design that we propose. Because more and more we will definitely try to push the customer to buy it at the tank level, and at the tank level means also at the room level at minimum. We have more and more demand on that. And the idea is to push them into some reference architecture from the tank to the server and to the room. So that means even the cable, the power cable, the PDU, etc. So the idea is really to go to the customer and say, we have this architecture. Certainly it will be different what he wants, but at minimum, he understands that we can manage it from the cable, so the power cable to the server, etc. And of course, taking account the configuration and CPUs. That's very important because a lot of customers we see they are not very confident in immersion because they say, "Oh, do I need a PDU? Do I need this cable, etc." And based on some discussion we had with some tank vendors. So first we did a reference design with Submer, but we are also working that with Midas at this moment to have another solution for the tech vendor is to propose this kind of solution in reference design. Also, we are developing. It's not ready yet. To be honest, I have no lead time because it's very hard to find the right PLX solution. But Loic and his team is working on the MGX-like version that will be comply all what we need to be possibly certified MGX. So I have no date on that. So I can say October 2025. That's it. No. Joking. No, but I don't know. So it will completely depend. In fact, we have two solutions on that. Or we find a PLX switch, the right PCIe switch developed by a company, and we can integrate it easily and just buy it from them. Or we need to develop it ourselves. So depending on what we found and how we do it, it can take so much time. To be honest, I think this is what will be the best is to have this product really as fast as possible, because I think if we have it in 1 year, it will be too late. So we will push a lot to
Gen 6.
Yeah, I have one question. Sorry. Are we building products for technically proving that we are superior, or are we building all these products for any specific market? So you understand what my question is? Who are we focusing, targeting to sell this to? Or are we going to say that, yes, we are technically superior, so that is why we are doing this? What is the target market for all these products?
Specific market, because for the moment, nobody have this kind of product. But you have some, I would say I have a list, some of the competitors with their different server that they have. It's just in immersion. For example, this one, if we do it in air or in DLC with the configuration that we have here, there are better products in the market, definitely.
No, that's what. So we are building products, right?
Yeah.
So if today I'm deciding to start an ice cream factory, my target is to sell it to kids.
Yeah.
Right? Who can we sell this to? Who is the target market who will buy this kind of a server? Is it going to be, could it be data centers who are focusing on financial, this one? Who is that we need to target and focus to?
Typically today, the demand that we have in what the market we have identified for that is mostly people who wants to do AI and doesn't know AI. Because
who wants to do
AI and doesn't know AI. Typically, you have financial people that have a lot of money, and they have a lot of bunch of money, and they say, "Oh, I need to invest in AI. What can you propose to me?" And I want to do it in immersion. Typically, we have that. So it can be data center builder. It can be just financial people. People just have money, and they are looking for partners for this project. And so that's why we propose a reference design. So you will see below the presentation.
Maybe little cloud provider wants to move to immersion because they have the used to
yes, European Union
HPE or the server, and they have many storage.
So then that means that the fundamental customer should have already decided to move to immersion to use this.
Oh,
if they do not, or DLC. Yes.
DLC. And for some solution, they don't have the choice. Huh?
Do you think it's a good choice to have 3 different storage? 3 different type of storage?
E1.S. Not just one type.
We have 3 backplane.
Yeah.
Or more.
Bah, you have a 3, yes.
What backplane?
Ce qu'il appelle des backplanes, c'est ce qu'il y a derrière les disques. Donc en gros, tu as 2 backplanes pour lui.
3 voire 5. Because that's of the shelf components. You cannot develop this kind of cages, so we purchase the cages that exist from the market. But if you look at the Shenbro chassis,
the same.
The 24 drive, it's 3 cages. Okay. They have also modular design, and this way they can accommodate if you want 8, 12, or 24 NVMe, or even AIC. They just release a new range, and same principle. Everything is modular, and you can disassemble. Having one PCB is not worth it for 24 drive, or having 3 PCB with 8 drives. On the cost-wise, but it's more stuff on the server. Not really, because the cabling is direct. Yeah, obviously, if you have to replace, it's even better if you separate. In fact.
Yeah, because if you have a sit on un qui pète, t'as les autres.
PCB. But everybody is moving to modular design to reduce the cost, the design cost, and propose more different solutions from the same components. And that's what we're doing too.
And it's not only us who do that. Okay. So that's something.
Shenbro did it first. And recently, AIC started also on their new ES1 range. Okay. And everybody is using Shenbro, so.
Okay, so I will present you the general purpose, so that will answer your question regarding the storage. So this is typically just a CPU platform, so dual socket, but we can go. So this is the different version, but this is a storage with this is an immersion product with storage. So that was missing on that.
The 1 GG, you had 1 U and a cage.
Yeah.
Perfect. Same for
that? Q1 2026.
Okay.
Yeah, we just begin the design on that.
But you can go up to 6, 12, sorry, U.2 cage, and yeah.
For now, U.2 because it's the main market. I don't know if we need. We don't have enough PCI lanes to have more drives in E1S or E3S, so that's why also we stick to U.2 because it will stay. U.2 will be the main form factor for at least the next 5 years. So.
But then no PCI in France, right?
There are.
Oh, it's just not on the picture.
Yeah, it's just a picture, but as the 1 GG, you have 2 HHHL and 1 OCP.
Yeah, well, normally, yes.
That's written by the way.
Oh, wait, it's not on the rendering, yes?
So the preliminary application, that means?
Yeah.
Yes, that's okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we propose it to different customers already.
Yeah, I have one that can start already.
Okay.
On this one, no, it's no. You think it's a? You can. Jared, it's okay.
It's doable.
It's doable. It's doable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, in fact, you will have two. I think it's two OCP3. Oh, it's here. Yes, you can have two. So, for example, for the different SKU here that we propose, you have a JRED.
That is a single step one, right?
Yeah. In fact, you have 3 NIC cards possible. Two NIC in OCP3 and one RED controller, for example.
I don't recommend the Mega Red 12 drive.
Oh.
But sometimes the only issue with JRED is the operating system support, the supportless operating systems on Broadcom.
And if we use the 9560 Broadcom, we can
Have only 4 drives. And we need a PLX switch.
Yep.
Yeah.
We need a PLX switch in between. That's why on the performance and the price side doesn't make sense. But for some operating system, JRED doesn't support.
Okay.
Sometimes
We could use the 24i for only true webcam.
You need that?
Sorry, could you have?
Maybe we could use the Mega Red 24i.
Yeah, and have 2 cards, you mean? But you
Yeah.
have 2 reds. If it's okay for the customer, it's cheaper. But you have 2 reds, 2 different.
2 different RED.
I mean,
Cool.
it's better than 3.
Yeah, it's depending on what the customer is expecting.
Okay. And why it is okay for storage?
Because to be fast and efficient, it's a variation from the Atlantis One U we already developed. Same motherboard, same. The chassis is almost the same. Also, this engineering.
And also, it's an immersion product, so that means people wants to have something that hits a little bit. And if you have only one GPU, that doesn't make sense to put it in immersion. So this is an idea of what we do in immersion now with Submer, and what we propose as a kind of reference design. So just to give you an idea. So generally a reference design, so this one is a GPU as a service reference design. So this is typically the kind of customer we can have now. The idea is to propose them in immersion. So here with 12 twin tanks. So this is a 2 megawatt system that we designed with Submer. The idea is to go, typically this is a data center builder who wants to own his own data center and say, okay, I need to do AI, I have no customer, what could I do? We propose them to have a GPU as a service, a reference architecture, and he can move where he can move very quickly to AI as a service infrastructure, because it's different in terms of networking. But we have prepared everything that he can easily decommission from GPU as a service, like RunPod. Maybe you heard about RunPod a lot from Joseph. Maybe I don't know if you know that, but that's typically how to rent a GPU per hour system. So that is a very multi-tenant system, but you can go and decommission some of the server when you have a big customer, and decommission it and put it in your system in AI as a service. So single tenant system in that case. The idea is really to propose to this customer a day one when they can begin to win money. That doesn't mean very efficient in terms of efficiency of the business model, but they can say to the investor, yes, I can win money now, day one. And then when they find another customer that have a bigger deployment needs, they can really do money to go into AI as a service. That's typically what we are looking. We have a lot of customers that are very interesting in the US, naturally, at this moment. And when you can see here, we can propose them a system, a fully immersed system with that. So this immersed system is done by 12 twin tanks. So twin tanks, that means, in fact, the equivalent of 24 tanks. In fact, because this is here, you can see you have one tanks and another. It's just they mutualize the CDU. It's still redundant, but they mutualize it. You can see here the system is practically full because it's a 80 kilowatts per tank. So that means 160 kilowatts per tank, per twin tank. And you can see we practically fulfill all the system, all the tank. And it remains at standard, I would say, water loop system, because if you want to go higher, in reality, you need very cold water. Here, this is a system that we designed to be able to have something that can be 30 to 35 degrees centigrade in lead water temperature, for example, with a standard air liquid flow that is not so high. So that's the idea. So that way.
Must still be compliant to submerged specifications.
Yeah.
If like GRC, water debit in the water loop is lower, doesn't work.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important to ask the operating conditions of the customer.
Yeah, and it's also why we work with different tank vendors to have different use case. Yeah.
Sorry, so this twin tank solution, this is across everybody, right? That like Submer.
No, it's just Submer. This one, yes, this is twin tank from Submer, and we are working now with Midas to do the same. So, and also we are working with Midas, and we are already talked to BAC to have the same model. So because each tank is different. So that means in fact, this is the water loop condition that could be different for the tank.
Yes.
And so we want to say, so one time we have the customer, we are working directly with the tank vendors, and we will do some tests, simulation. For example, Submer ask us if it's possible to do a thermal simulation on their own to be sure that we are in the good environmental condition. And yes, so that's serious. And also we validate with them the cabling, etc., all the BOM. So here the cluster BOM is a high level BOM, but the idea is very to go deeper and deeper in the bills of material, because every cable will be on that. Also for these things, we also have a management rack that will be in air, because that's system we don't see any need to immersion, and also it will be easier for maintenance because that's something that you can change, etc. So
how will it impact the infrastructure?
But
So
it depends.
for example, if this room is going to be converted into an immersion room,
but you will need, for example, the water loop. So you need to have water, enough power. Also concerning tanks for this room particularly, because you are not at level 1.
No. Assume that this room is in ground floor. Yeah.
Okay.
So my question is, if you want to convert this into this same architecture where you have immersion plus the air, what is the infrastructure requirements?
The requirement that will be to have power, to have water, basically. Also, of course, you need to have some air ventilation system.
Yes.
So yes, we have it can depend generally between the different tank manufacturers is the same condition for that. It's just the water loop that can be different in terms of speed or temperature, but in that case should be around the same range. But yes, we have this. Typically, this is mostly from the tank vendors that we have this information.
No, that's not my question. Maybe I didn't phrase my question correctly. My question is because we have an air-cooled rack in the same room, right?
Yeah.
So will that actually impact? Do I need to have a proper data center kind of a room, or do I need to have something? Because in an immersion, basically, you don't need cooling. You can just put it
for this one. For this, I don't know if I have the picture. I don't have it.
Yeah, of course. I'm saying in terms of cooling, right?
Yeah, in terms of cooling, this rack is not very high in terms of density. So do not request to have a 20-degree room or something like that. So should be okay. You can do both. If you really have so for example, if your infrastructure, you have a standard room, not necessarily to have it just aside the tank. So you just need to be connected, but you can do aside the tank. So we are still in the design with Submer because Submer is designing the room, to be honest.
Okay.
At this moment, and so we are working on that. Yes, we'll have more information concerning that.
Yeah, because I have one requirement in Neon. So it's typically what they are asking is to have with aspirators. I've been talking to aspirators for some time now. So what they're talking is basically the tank plus servers plus the stack with all those
management.
What's his name? We signed the deal also with them as well. So the whole idea is to provide a full solution for them with the full stack, and then they can use it.
Okay.
So
okay. Yes, that's something we can work, but that's typically something that we need to work with so typically with Asperitas, we need to work because I don't know the environmental condition they need on that. But typically, yes, that's something that we can do, yes.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah. Ouais, of course.
Il va falloir tracer un peu, parce qu'après, il y a 30 îles encore à passer. Hein.
Ouais, je sais, ouais. Mais je fais ce que je peux.
Il y a moi.
Ah, ouais.
Ah, moi, j'ai fait mon deuil. Hein.
So dual phase immersion. This is just an update in SP5D. So I need to speed, so I will speed up a little bit. But just an update. I will let you read the specification. Nothing. This is the one that can handle 600 watt GPUs. We prefer to do into U in dual phase at this moment, even if we still have a version in 1U. But if we need storage or that kind, we did this design. This is the competition. So typically what you can find against us in terms of system. One of the competition that could be the bigger is the one from Unicom, because Unicom is doing H200 system, H200 and H100 SXM system in immersion. And if you have question on that, is that for the moment the feedback we have, it's work but not necessarily very good. So that means it's a lower version of the HGX system that exists in Air or DLC. So I see no interest in doing that at this moment. We are trying to get some tests with some, so for example, with BeBrave or some other partner to be able to provide this kind of system also in immersion. But for the moment, we are not ready. And what we hear and what we know at this moment, it doesn't work very well. So that's why I don't recommend to immerse the HGX system in immersion.
But that it's still 6U. They are not.
Yeah, I know.
It's a waste of space.
Yes, they didn't. But yes, because it's a big work if you want to change it. And today, yes, also Unicom, what they do, it's HPE. All the system, it's HPE and Dell system. They just convert. It's not system that have been made for immersion. So that means cable compatibility, etc. It's not the same. So you can also have any issue. So just to let you know, AGX system, you have a lot of RMA, generally. I can't imagine immersion because of the corrosion and also the cabling that are not made for immersion. So also they will certainly face a lot of problem. So if you have question about this, we prefer clearly to go on PCIe even or in Air. If someone really wants AGX platform, we can do it, but in Air or DLC. So you propose them that was a discussion we have with BeBrave. If you really want to do a very big model, go in AGX. But also very big model, to be honest, we don't have a lot of customer who really need that. So it's important to understand that very big model. In fact, it's not efficient in terms of cost because you need to have a very expensive system. And finally, when you see what they do with them, they don't need it. Most of the time. Clearly, if you don't do ChatGPT, you don't need this kind of system. So that's.
Do they provide warranty as Unicom? JJ, do you know?
No, they don't provide it. No.
So it's a total waste of $250,000.
Yeah. So when we ask it, they don't. And here at the end, you have some compatibility list.
Don't we see Hypertech?
Yes, I put Hypertech, yes, also. It's you have all the list, so you have Hypertech, Compile, Gigabyte, Asus, Unicom. Of course, I put them all in the list. So as people ask me to stop, so I will stop. But if you have questions, just come back to me. And here you have the different compatibility list for NIC card, GPUs, Intel CPUs, AMD. As it's all the same platform, that's also easier to understand the compatibility list and also in software.